Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to announce that these flowers are real. My biggest fear was that they were fake. So, a very special welcome to all of you on this lovely spring evening, and I'm glad that this event didn't occur 3 days ago, or you would have had to brave the storms and the hail to be here. And of course, the stars of this evening are our grade 12 orange carpet candidates. You're very special people, and you're very special to us. And thank you to you and your loved ones for being here this evening. We take this event very seriously. We're very serious about scholarship and grooming a new generation of leaders. And it is for that reason that a vast number of the executives of the university have joined us tonight. And I'm going to ask them, please, if they wouldn't mind just standing so that you can all see who runs this university. Executives, may I ask you please to rise? I'm not going to say much except to say that you could not have chosen a better time to consider University of Johannesburg for your tertiary studies. We are rocketing up the university rankings, and I have no doubt that our Vice-Chancellor is going to speak to you in more detail about that. Suffice to say from my side that what we offer here is a premier experience in terms of teaching and learning, especially the integration of technology into the learning experience, including e-textbooks and iPads and lots of access to internet resources. And also, as senior students, you will have access to state-of-the-art research facilities for those of you that, and we hope many of you will, continue with postgraduate studies. I will be delighted in the years ahead, but I will not be surprised if from this grouping tonight we have at least one Nobel Prize winner, and that they are also a UJ graduate. So welcome. Welcome, thank you for being here. And now I invite the Horizon Ladies Residence Choir to entertain us.
Good evening, Vice-Chancellor, members of the Executive Leadership Group, mums, dads, friends, grandparents, and of course, our distinguished guests, our orange carpet candidates of 2017, all protocol observed. My name is Leonie Michaels. I'm a student marketer in the Department of Student Marketing in the Division of Advancement here at the University of Johannesburg. And tonight, I have the most pleasant task of reminding our candidates of some of the wonderful benefits that we offer you as a student, an orange carpet student here at the University of Johannesburg. Being an orange carpet student guarantees you a merit bursary. Ladies and gentlemen, please note that the value of your bursary will be determined by your admission point score, or APS as it's colloquially known, at the end of grade 12. So with your grade 12 final examinations, those scores will determine the value of your bursary. But this is guaranteed, and it could amount even to a full bursary where 100% of your tuition fees will be covered by the university through this bursary. That will be for your first year class fees. Also, as an orange carpet student, you have a saving of 1,040 Rand in January when you register. You see, all other non-orange carpet students will have to pay a registration fee. Yours, on the other hand, will be deferred to later in the year. An orange carpet student who obtains an AP score of more than 42 points is also entitled to a further 5,485 Rand over and above the merit bursary which you will receive anyway. Furthermore, we give you a 2,000 Rand gift voucher. Now, boys and girls, you know when it says gift voucher, it means there's something in there for you. So we give you this gift voucher, which you can use to purchase textbooks, you can purchase stationery, you can even use this voucher towards the purchase of a tablet or even a laptop, should you need one of those devices. For those of you who are in need of residence, we are here to help you. But please just remember that you need to apply for a position in one of the residences and then also pay the deposit which is required. Then you can come to us and we can most gladly assist you. But it's not all. As an orange carpet student, we also offer you the opportunity to apply for a tutoring position in your faculty. Now, please note that these positions are usually reserved for senior students. However, because you will be entering the university as a top achiever already, you have the option to apply for this position, but please bear in mind that this will also be determined, or your position here will also be determined by your academic performance in your respective faculties. You are further to receive invitations to various sporting events. Also, you are offered the opportunity of unlimited study skills with a consultant of your choice. And as if that's not enough, we also offer you the opportunity for therapeutic, academic, and even career counseling with our Center for Psychological and Career Development, or PsyCAD as we fondly know them. Last but not least, as an orange carpet student, you are also afforded the opportunity to enter our Eugenius Club. Now, this is a very prestigious club at the University of Johannesburg. If you are able to maintain your academic achievement throughout your first year, then from your second year onwards, you will be able to be part of this wonderful club here at UJ and make use of the benefits that this club in itself has to offer. However, and this is the bad news for the grade 12s amongst us, you need to please maintain your current results during your grade 12 final examinations. Mums and dads, just a gentle reminder to the learners that they must obtain a minimum of 70% in every single subject at the end of grade 12. Now, that's a very small price to pay if you look at all the benefits that you are to enjoy at this wonderful institution of ours. And then, the pointer's not working with me? Right. When you registered for the event this evening, each one received a orange carpet gift voucher. Please hold on to this. Before you leave, give it back to us, because you will then be able to come and claim a small gift from the university. This is just compliments, and this is just our way of saying thank you very much and congratulations for having made it thus far. So with that, I would like to thank you, and now I would like to call on the Robin Crest male residents to come and perform for us. Thank you.
Before you leave, another round of applause. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker tonight is our Vice Chancellor and Principal, Professor Iron Rensburg. He is in himself a modest man and does not like people singing his praises, so I'm going to have to be very quick. All I need to say is that without Professor Rensburg to lead us in the last decade, we would not have achieved anything like we have achieved in the last decade. Professor Rensburg.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, it's not a good evening, eh? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's try this. Okay, maybe you didn't hear me, right? Good evening. Sanibunan? Okay, we have 4 languages that we affirm here at UJ officially. I'm not talking about the unofficial. So obviously, this is Zulu, English, Afrikaans, goeienaand dames en heren, and Sepedi Salaboa. So Siti Tobel. Well, thank you very much. It's a very special privilege and a great honor for us as the executives of the university to be in your presence this evening. In the presence of our orange carpet candidates, and shall I say, future Nobel laureate candidates as well, and also in the presence of your proud parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, and other family members and loved ones. It's a very special privilege for us to be with you this evening. I say that because it's a special privilege, because to be in the company of the top 1% is a big deal, isn't it? It's good to be in that kind of company. My message to my team here at the University of Johannesburg and at the university has always been, you know, when you want to fly, you better join good company, isn't it? And so we now find ourselves in a situation where universities outside of the top 500 ranked universities in the world, 24,000 universities in the world, UJ is amongst the top 500. So now we find universities outside of the top 500 wanting to associate with us. And, you know, we're kind of saying that actually we want to associate with the top 100 ourselves, so we could also be pulled into the top 100 universities. And so this is how we feel about your presence, that your presence elevates us. Your presence inspires us. It uplifts us. And when we are in your presence, we feel that we will also rise up with you. And so the first thing, therefore, for us is to acknowledge you as extraordinary, as amazing, as often nerdish, but as fantastic intellects. And so we want to simply applaud you and wish you only the very best in this last lap of high school. And we hope that you will make the choice to become a part of us. That is, you and your loved ones together will be able to make that choice, to join us on this journey that started some 12 odd years ago, when we formed the University of Johannesburg. And so, please accept our well wishes as you head into that last lap. We, of course, look forward to welcoming you here at UJ early next year, where the table has been set for you, where we have invested great effort over the last 12 years to create conditions conducive for you to flourish. Because ultimately that is our role as the executives or administrators of the university, together with our academics. It's a pity we don't have a place large enough to welcome you. Our 43,000 undergraduate students, our 8,500 postgraduate students, our 1,200 permanent academics, our 2,000 other temporary academics in the institution, our 3,500 support staff. Can you imagine that wonderful reception if that was possible for all of us to say to you, welcome to the University of Johannesburg, where everything we do is about creating for you the possibility to become the very best that you can be. Now, of course, you will have learned that university provides an extraordinary space. You could see that our students here who performed amazingly. Our resident students, we've got about 6,800 students in residence, I should say. We have about 15,000 students in non-university residences that are accredited by the university. I think you need to look out for that as well. So because the university is unable to accommodate as many students as we wish to, we have worked with our local communities. And so you may find houses around here where there are 10 beds accredited by the university. You may find larger establishments where there are 50 beds accredited. You may find even larger ones where 1,000 beds are accredited. And so we invest great effort here at the University of Johannesburg, together with our student leaders, to create the ideal circumstances, even in our residences, for you to flourish. I have been given 2 instructions before I proceed from my team here in front. And they said to me, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, as you are exiting the university, I should say that I complete 12 years at the University of Johannesburg and I leave sometime during the course of December. They said it's not a bad thing for you to say to our orange carpet students, number 1, you will not pay a registration fee, so it won't be deferred. How does that sound? I will have to account to our Minister of Finance tomorrow, I'm sure, or later this evening. Secondly, they've instructed me to say, not only will we assist you with residence, we will guarantee you a place in the university residence. So it's all in your hands with these 2 additional actions or offerings that we wish to put to you. And the team has said to me that they will thoroughly review the set of, I don't want to use the word privileges. It doesn't sound right. Because you deserve it. It's not a privilege. You deserve it because of your extraordinary efforts, your extraordinary minds, and your extraordinary accomplishments. And we will undertake a thorough review of these for the future. And so our students then this evening, as they performed for us, reminded us that there is no hair policy at the university. You can come with your dreads, you can come with your afro, you can come with whichever style. You can color it pink, you can color it blue, you can color it whatever you want it to be. You could even shave it off as part of your expression and as part of forming your identity. I mention that because, as we know, university is a special place. It's a privileged space. I remember when I was looking at our students performing here this evening, I was so like many of our parents in the house who had the privilege of going to study either undergraduate or postgraduate education, I'm sure that you were reminded of your days. I was certainly reminded of my days of a very special privilege, very privileged days of being able to study full-time at university, to live in a residence at university, another small university somewhere in the Eastern Cape that I went to that has the color purple. So when I went to that university, I just felt that it was such a special privilege to be a full-time student, to be in residence, and simply to have that freedom to become who you wish to become. When you do come to university, therefore, you will experience independence, freedom that you would never have imagined. But of course, we know with all of that comes responsibility. But of course, we also appreciate that perhaps undergraduate studies is not always about responsibility first. We will encourage you, remind you, as you explore your freedom, as you become, as our young women demonstrated here, as you become a critical interlocutor in society, an activist, in other words, as you engage intellectually with difficult and troubling issues outside the classroom and inside the classroom, or lecture hall, as we call it here, that you will therefore experience freedoms that will set you apart from your generation or within your generation. It's also a place where, University of Johannesburg, where you will be challenged and where you will challenge yourself. It is so because you will, under the stewardship, under the wise leadership of our academics, our lecturers, that is, our senior lecturers, our associate professors, our full professors. Of course, we also have assistant lecturers. We also have tutors and senior tutors, some 2,500 tutors and senior tutors who work with our undergraduate students, who will work with you. We have learned here at the University of Johannesburg, and that which sets us apart from our peers, that it's vitally important, especially in undergraduate studies, first year and even the senior years, second year and other senior years, that it's vitally important for us to provide peers who are senior to journey with you, academically, socially, and otherwise. And so we have 2,500 such tutors and senior tutors working in addition with our lecturers and assistant lecturers and so on, who work closely with our first years and second years in particular to make the transition from school to university or from work to university in some instances as smoothly as possible, to help you make the rough edges smooth, to help you come to terms with the challenge, the academic challenge and the academic rigor of being at the University of Johannesburg. And so in the entire Southern Hemisphere, there is not one university that has this kind of undergraduate teaching and tutorial support that we offer here at the University of Johannesburg. But enough about that. So, our job is to help you move from the top 1% of your class to the top 1% in your country, to the top 1% on the continent of Africa. By the way, the university is now ranked 4th in South Africa and 5th in Africa. Thank you. So you can see the table is set for you to help you become the top 1% in the world. So the university's ranking in the world places us amongst the top 2% of universities in the world. We want you to be amongst the top 2% of your peers in the world, not in South Africa, in the world. And that is the commitment that we make. That is what we will stand by. That is what you must count us on in the end. I should also say that the university is also ranked amongst the top 500 universities, not only for excellence in research, but also for job placement after graduation. Of course, I say that with great care because I'm hoping that your generation will be the generation that turns on its head this idea of job seeking, that turns on its head the idea that actually I should only search for a safe future. So yes, there is space for that. Some of us want to be in the job for 40 years, same job. I think it's not going to be like that for your generation. I think you know that it's not going to be like that for your generation. And so one of the contradictions of our nation state, South Africa, of course, is the fact that coming to this university means that within 12 months of graduating, 96% of you will have a job. In fact, within 3 months of graduating, 75% of you will have a job already. But consider this contradiction, that South Africa finds itself with youth unemployment at 60%. I shared this morning at a campus visit this astounding fact about our nation state, and that is that if you're a black African woman, you leave high school, you don't go to college or university, you don't get a job within 3 years of leaving school, you will never get a job as things stand. And so you're going to have to live off piece jobs for the rest of your life. You're going to become a mother of two, you're going to be a single, woman-headed family, and you have to battle through that drama. That is the fact experienced by especially young women under the age of 35 in South Africa as we speak. And you may be aware that some 4 million young people between the ages of 16 and 29 as we speak, not in school, not in any form of training, not in college, not in university, not in a job. That is what your generation must change. And we can't change that when we are so focused on finding a job, as opposed to creating the new enterprises of the fourth industrial revolution that will open up the vistas for this nation of ours, that will break through the 60% unemployment and bring it down to 5% in your generation or sooner. And so with greatness, because you're on the cusp of greatness, with greatness comes responsibility. Being great means you have authority. You have influence. That authority and influence can be intellectual. It can be otherwise. But the fact is that each one of you in another 15 years' time will be occupying the corner office, if not sooner. In another 15 years' time, you will be the CEOs of South Africa's companies. Hopefully, the CEOs of the new generation companies. So it's wonderful to be the CEO of, okay, let's leave KPMG out. And let's leave McKinsey out as well. Yeah, let's leave SAP out as well, because they are blight on the moral compass of this nation state. Of course, as is those in government, in cabinet, they are blight on the moral authority that we used to have in this nation state. That is what your generation must change. You must bring this country that we love so dearly back to where it started, back to where we began, where a small nation state, only 4 million people, were able to influence the world in so many ways, positively, where we were the moral compass for social justice, for reconciliation, for democracy building, for advancing human dignity, for lifting up the weakest amongst us. That is your job. And so you could see these young women confronting the facts on the ground, the realities of their experiences and of their peers' experiences. And so you will join them in that journey of becoming great intellects, future Nobel laureates, CEOs of the new generation companies of the fourth industrial revolution. And at the same time, become the moral compass of the new South Africa. And so that is what we have embraced. We don't practice here at UJ, apologies, we don't preach here at UJ what we don't practice. Let me share with you just one or two things in that regard. Because we firmly believe with greatness comes responsibility. And so here at the University of Johannesburg, we have the highest regard for nurturing an inclusive student community, cosmopolitan, diverse, engaged with the issues on the ground, struggling with them, wrestling with them, not always resolving them, but that's okay. It's not a problem. The fact that you're engaging with them is the most important. And so when you come to the University of Johannesburg, you will notice that we're a university that embraces socio-economic class in very direct manners. So as we speak, a third of our 43,000 undergraduate students come from families, or shall I say from schools in particular, that serve the poorest 40% in our nation. When we started this project 12 years ago, it was 8%. Of course, when they enter the gates of this university intellectually and physically, spiritually and emotionally, there is no class in this university. There is no first class and second class. It's a message that rings inside me and that I encourage our students, international students as well, almost 3,700 international students here at UJ. And the message is simple: you're not a second-class student or a third-class student. You're a first-class member of this university community. And so what's the meaning of the bottom 40% in economic terms in our country? Today is the 11th of October. Come the 15th of October, in those households there is no food in the cupboard. And that single 60% of those homes, single parent, single mothers heading those households. The ones that I spoke of a moment ago. And there is a phenomenon in our urban and rural communities where this mother has to go out to see how she's going to help these children who she loves, who she has great ambitions for, great hope for, who she inspires with a value system that has been carried for 1,000 years and more. And she goes out with the 5 rand coins or whatever she's able to gather to go and buy chicken skin and fat. And she's going to cook that for the next 15 days to create a little gravy to go with the pap that she serves the children. And so when you come to the University of Johannesburg, you won't see your peer student looking like that. They're too proud. They're too confident. They're too ambitious. They're too filled with hope. And they are intellects of note. So what do we do here at the University of Johannesburg when we face that situation? And so the university, together with Gift of the Givers, have a meal assistance program, 2 meals a day for 8,000 students. Just this week, thank you. Just this past week, we were able to convince Tiger Brands to help us add another 2,000 students. We've got assistance also from ShopRite and from the Department of Social Development, and so soon we will scale that up to helping 12,000 students. 2 meals a day, they would come hungry. In fact, they would drop out of university. And so we've mapped that fact on the ground in our communities into our university. But if we look the other way, we will simply have turned that opportunity and this university into a revolving door university. You come in and you drop out after 6-9 months. This year, with the enthusiastic leadership of our executives and our student leaders, we have raised 172 million rands to support students who cannot qualify or do not qualify for state aid, but their families don't have enough funds to support them. So more than 2,000 students, therefore, are supported out of that 172 million rands. I can go down a list of things that we do. You'll be part of a class of 10,500 first years. In that class of 10,500 first years, we give 3,500 of those students who are unable to afford the basic instrument of teaching, of learning, of research, of assessment, an iPad. We use iPads here, yeah? Sorry about that. So we give them an iPad, but not just that, as Prof. Rory Ryan, who didn't introduce himself, the Executive Director for Academic Development and Support here at the University of Johannesburg, and the former Dean of Humanities, as he indicated. We also load on there for you your e-books. So you don't have to walk around with piles of books or rucksacks filled with books. So we load on for them the books. And of course, you may want to say, no, I want my book, I want to smell my book. You know, I prefer the beautiful smell of that ink, a new book. But that's okay. And so I use these examples to illustrate that at UJ we care. Because with greatness comes responsibility. And so we love our students. We care for our students. We are their parents. We are their fathers and mothers. We're not just their teachers. We're not just the administrators in this university. And that sets us apart. Not only that, we have invested great effort in nurturing a diverse academic community. So when we started 12 years ago, this new university, we had 150 black academics in our staff of 850 permanent academics at that point. As we speak, we have 490 black academics in a staff of 1,180 odd, call it 1,200 permanent academics. See, when you put your mind to something, you accomplish it. And impossible is nothing. And because of that, I dare say, our research has flourished alongside, our teaching has flourished, and so the university has moved from outside the 3,000 ranked position 12 years ago to the top 500 as we speak. And so for us, that is the meaning of a great university. Confronting those triple challenges: a diverse student body that confronts the facts of our nation state, a diverse academic community that brings different encounters and experience into the academic encounter, and excellence in teaching and in research. And so at UJ, we don't look the other way. We don't believe that things are difficult or impossible. We are too young a university to have those kinds of ideas about the meaning in life. And so with greatness comes responsibility. Our responsibility with you on the cusp of greatness is that of advancing the human dignity of all, of serving the greater good, of the self-realization, our self-realization, your self-realization through others, and the enhancement of the self-realization, us individually, of others. And so we're grateful, we're honored to be in your presence. You who are on the cusp of greatness, you who are amazing, great intellects, nerdish, but young people for whom impossible is nothing. And so we look forward to you joining us on this journey, this constant journey, this constant struggle that comes with victories as well and accomplishments as well. This struggle to be great, this struggle to turn this nation of ours from the pariah status that it currently occupies in our minds and hearts, again, to the great nation that Nelson Mandela anticipated for this nation of ours. So I thank you very much. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Baie dankie. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice-Chancellor, for your very inspiring words. You will have learnt earlier that we have no code with regard to hairstyles, but we do have a very strict code with regard to clothing at UJ. You will be required to wear clothing. Some clothing. Members of the ELG, thank you so much for being with us tonight. It's a great honor. Orange carpet candidates, you are our special people tonight, and we look forward to welcoming you next year. And please, ladies and gentlemen, join us for some dessert and a good chat in the foyer after this event. I thank you and drive safely.